Will you ask her? Would you ask her if she'd like to come? And if she would be gave a dinner, just check out. Be a good one.
Like to come.
Uh-huh.
She doesn't quite believe it.
I hear you. Uh-huh. Do you have a question? Just ask her if she has a question. This is real.
And that's it. That it's not all believable, but yeah,
so different.
Me. Yeah.
So different. You want me? You want me?
And this is part of the memory reconsolidation, that you want me. You want me. And this is the unwanted Jill, trauma vortex being replaced by a wanted. Her husband wants her. She wants to be with her 7-year-old. The 7-year-old feels wanted and cared for. This is the contrast experience we need to change memory through memory reconsolidation.
You want me? What's the answer?
Yes. Yeah. Definitely.
Wow. Are you able to see Jill's eyes from where you are? Just turn so crisply. You gotta see her eyes. So when she says definitely, like I can see her left eye get a little brighter, brighter. Mm-hmm. Definitely. So I think this is the key.
So I'm working with the imaginal channel. I'm imagining the young Jill, but also the visual channel of seeing Jill's eyes in the room growing energetically brighter. This is a very important part of the portrayal. Remember, the dorsal vagal is an energetic phenomena primarily. It's a draining of energy. This is a reinstating of energy and a correcting in the left insula of an affiliative experience rather than the right insula, feeling of dread and pain and suffering, because the right insula, when overburdened with suffering, unproductive suffering in particular, is highly associated with pain syndromes.
I want you, my 7-year-old self, I want you to be with me. I want you to be part of my heart, my life. I want you. I want to pay attention, I want to connect. So I want Chris to have an opportunity to connect. Mm-hmm. And really be part of caring for her the way she was not cared for historically. And this trip, it was moving from or to San Jose?
To San Jose.
To San
Francisco.
From San Francisco. This transition has not been a gentle one for her.
Right. That tiny little transition.
Big for her.
Yeah.
Big transition. New school.
Right.
Different uniform.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yep.
All different classmates. Thank goodness her sister Ann.
Right. She was very sweet.
So let's just keep Sister Ann in the mix too, that there's always...
I want to be aware with you about the sweat under Chris's arms and the validation of high sympathetic arousal. Again, for me, in viewing him now in the session, as well, his right eye appears darker and more closed than his left.
There's always that constancy of Sister Ann's love and your love being directed to her. Anything else you want to do before we wrap up? Because we're running out of time in this session. But you couldn't keep doing this on your own. In life, just check in, psychically check in with her, vision her, be present with her. Really take it seriously that there's something signed on here, connection within you with 7-year-old Jill.
It's interesting because I've heard that sometimes you have a hard time with your kids when they're at ages when you had a hard time.
Yeah.
And Nina at 7 is so tough.
Yeah.
And I hadn't thought about that because I didn't think I was having a hard time at 7.
I hear you.
If you would have asked me that an hour ago, I wouldn't have said 7.
I hear you. Tough is the word.
This is an important part about portrayal work, is to resolve selective amnesia, where Jill could project on her daughter Nina at age 7. She's being a really tough kid to deal with, but actually Jill learned to be a tough kid, to try to bear her mother's disapproval and rejection. Actually a very sensitive person, but with some defenses coming up that can be relinquished if she can feel her sensitivity as a 7-year-old within Jill's self and also empathize with sensitive Nina at age 7. Very precious opportunity to parent from an attuned place more, even more. Because Jill is already an excellent parent.
Is it tough? And it is so tough.
Yeah.
So something about you said fragile on the inside. So
I think she might be also.
Mm-hmm. How does that feel? To have that precious piece of that young Jill, 7-year-old Jill, helps you to be a better mom and more attuned to your own daughter at 7, Nina.
That's helpful. That's a relief.
Like it's teamwork. Check in with your 7-year-old self and go, wow, do you get this? I'm not getting this right now. What do you get? Can you relate? Like your consultant around parenting?
There's a very essential element here about generational trauma transmission that can be unconscious and it can be corrected through portrayal work like this, where Jill's attunement to her 7-year-old internal self can meet the experience of her 7-year-old daughter in a way that feels friendly and welcoming to her daughter's sensitivity. Even hypersensitivity can be met.
Such a nice glow. I'm just seeing such a nice glow about you. What are you noticing inside?
I feel warm. I'm not really burning anymore.
So
That's
good.
good.
So good. How are you feeling with Chris? Just checking with him.
Good.
Yeah. You know, you've been here, Chris, as a witness for Jill, because you are the only person who will go home with her, who is here other than her inside 7-year-old self.
I'll bring
So I have one more kid.
It's important. What's that?
One more kid. Can I ask you, so I know
Before Chris asks his question, I want to mention one of the joys we have about transformational therapy, particularly transformative couples therapy, is that the person who's just done the portrayal does not need to go home alone, does not need to have this as a new secret, or does not need to convey this as a verbal statement to the partner. The partner is here in the room with her, and ideally can be empathetic and kind during the trip to Ireland, and can accompany Jill with more sensitivity himself, having remembered how sensitive her 7-year-old is.
More, but how did we get to the 7-year-old? You noticed her eye going down, then you asked her something.
Well, in particular, I have a relation with Jill's left eye, going foggy.
You do?
You really?
Going foggy, and I know then she's in a unresolved trauma memory, and then we can just go into it together and access it.
But what did you ask her to get the 7-year-old play? I can't remember what I missed.
You okay for doing this?
Yeah, it's just I'm so curious, and it's so intense that, it's really intense. It feels really valuable and a little...
This is very important that I ask her, is it okay we're going into left brain exploration? Because she is still in the experience of the portrayal, as you can see. She can probably feel.
There's more feeling here. Just all the feeling, Jill. There's a lot of feeling here.
Yeah. So I'm surprised. And I didn't even know there was anything with my, my eye feels like that's the tip of the iceberg, really.
I hear you. It's the part that shows.
Yeah.
It's the part that shows, that window in that shows, yeah. I appreciate you, Chris. There's an affection for you. Just notice your own right eye right now.
Right?
Are you noticing your right eye?
I never see that eye.
Just see Chris's eyes for a moment. Just notice his eyes. What are you noticing about his eyes?
He's doing stuff with them right now.
He's nothing to conceal, I think.
He's concealing.
Yep. I know a little bit. It's the end of the session anyway, so it's okay. But I really appreciate your question, the sensitivity of your timing to wait till we were more further along in the session, It's so important. This is a truly, truly important bond of loyalty, of connection to a 7-year-old part that got abandoned at a certain point. And just to remember her and say, really feel her inside, really love her, and let her love you back, love you up. She can love you up.
Yeah.
Help you to love Nina like that. Understand Nina. It's huge. And for you to be a part of it is really, I'm so glad you're here, Chris, to be part of this.
Yeah.
So one of the things you can play with is, what does your 7-year-old want to do on this rainy day? What is your impulse from your 7-year-old? If you're working all the time with you having a younger part we connect with. But right now, my 7-year-old wants to go roll in the wet grass, whatever it is. And see, is it dangerous? Is it harmful? Is it okay? Can we get toweled off later? Is that be all right? Or do we have rain clothes on? Can we just do this? Roll down the hill on the grassy slope? Is that all right? I'm just making that up. She might want to slide down it, whatever it is. Really get, what does she want? And the more you know.
I'm going from the reunion redo portrayal into a future portrayal